Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone to our Srimad Bhagavatam view class. We'll begin with our prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone to our Srimad Bhagavatam review class. So last time we completed 7 cantos. The 7th canto we completed last time. So the 7th canto ended with the description of Upabarahana and how after describing everything, Narad Muni, he became very happy and he offered prayers to the Supreme Lord, and hearing the narration, Yudhishthir Maharaj, he became very happy. And then after that, Shukdev Goswami, he tells that so far I have explained to you all the progeny of daughters of Daksha. With that, the 7th canto ended. So now in the 8th canto, which is a very beautiful canto, which describes how we have discussed that there are 10 topics of Srimad Bhagavatam. Atra sarga visargascha sthanam poshanam utayah manvantara ishanu katha nirodho muktirashrayah. So we have discussed primary creation, sarga, secondary creation, visarga. That is primarily discussed in 3rd and 4th cantos. Then sthana, that was discussed in the 5th canto. Poshana, how Lord maintains his devotees, that is discussed in the 6th canto by the pastime of Ajamil and Vritrasur. And then in the 7th canto, the uti. Uti means the inclinations. The various types of inclinations are described. The highest of the inclinations and the lowest of the inclinations. And in between, there are some other people who have inclinations in between. Highest, the most wonderful inclination is represented by Prahlad Maharaj, pious, and most sinful inclination represented by Hiranyakashipu. And in between, there were discussions of Varnashram Dharma, how those people who are somewhere in between, how they will also attain success. And then after this, then 8th canto describes Manvantara. Manvantara means in the one day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus. And in every Manu, there are various avatars of the Lord come. So now in the 7th canto beginning, Parikshit Maharaj will ask Shukdev Goswami that I want to hear about all the other Manus also. So in the beginning of this 8th canto, Prabhupada very beautifully, he writes that, in 1935, I met my spiritual master Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, and he gave me instructions to write books. And personally, he writes there that he personally told me to publish books. It is more important than even constructing temples. So since then on, I had started publishing Back to Godhead in 1944. Then in 1958, Prabhupada writes there that I started writing Srimad Bhagavatam, publishing Srimad Bhagavatam. And then when 3 cantos, 3 parts of Srimad Bhagavatam was published, then I began journey to the America in 1965. And there Prabhupada writes, since then I am continuously engaged in writing these scriptures. And he says that now in the year 1976, so in the beginning of 8th canto, Prabhupada he was writing that I am now in 1976th year. The year is 1976, and I have completed 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and I have given 10th canto summary as Krishna book. Still, 9th canto, 8th canto, 9th canto, 10th canto, 11th and 12th, they are remaining. So Prabhupada is praying that please, I am praying to the Supreme Lord that Lord gives me strength so that I can complete this service. He says in a humble mood that I am not a scholar, not a great devotee, but if Lord shows mercy, then I may be able to complete this service because I am doing it with the best of my capacity. So now, Parikshit Maharaj in the beginning of this 8th canto, he speaks, Swayambhuvasya geho vamsham yam vistarashruta yatra vishwasrijam sargo manun anyan vadaswanaha. He says, oh my Lord, O Shukdev Goswami, I have heard about Swayambhuva Manu, but I want to hear about other Manus also. Manu Anyan. I want to hear about other Manus also. And therefore, please describe me about the other Manus. So this 8th canto, the first chapter itself describes the 4 Manvantara avatars and Manus. Swayambhuva Manu, Swarochisha Manu, Uttama Manu and Tamasa Manu. Then the next 3 chapters, they describe the story of Gajendra. And then the 5th chapter, and then the 5th Manu is also described there. And then further 8 chapters describe the 6th Manu, that is Chakshusha Manu. And in these chapters, the churning of the milk ocean is described, Samudra Manthan Leela. And then in the 7th, and then after that, 1 chapter describes 7th Manu, that is Vaivashvat Manu, that is the current Manu which is going on. And then he describes about the activities of this Vaivashvat Manvantara avatar. And then after that, there are description of Vamanadev and Bali Maharaj in the 9 chapters. And then there is 1 chapter which describes Matsya avatar. So this is a whole 8th canto. So now Parikshit Maharaj is asking, please tell me about the other Manvantara avatars also, because the people who are wise, they describe the various activities of the Lord as he performs in various Manus, various Manvantara avatars. So please describe me all the Manvantara avatars. So then in response to this, Shukdev Goswami, he becomes very happy when he hears this question of Parikshit Maharaj, and he starts the description of Swayambhuva Manu's later life. He says that now, O Parikshit, already 6 Manus have gone by. So in this present day of Brahma, 6 Manus have already gone. And now the 7th Manu is going on. So the first of them was Swayambhuva Manu. So from Swayambhuva Manu, one of his daughters there were 2 daughters of Swayambhuva Manu, Akuti and Devahuti. And we have discussed about Akuti and Devahuti in the 3rd canto and 4th canto also. So he says that, from the daughters of Akuti and Devahuti appeared Yagyamurti and Kapila. Akuti begot Yagyamurti and Devahuti begot Kapila Dev. And we have discussed about Kapila Dev in great detail. So then, now he describes that Shukdev Goswami says, now I will describe the activities of Yagyapati, the son of Akuti. So the prominent activity of this Yagyapati, the son of Akuti, who is the Manvantar avatar, he protected Swayambhuva Manu when he was doing tapasya. So to describe about Yagyamurti, first he starts the description of Swayambhuva Manu. So he says that Swayambhuva Manu, after he ruled his kingdom for many thousands and millions of years, and we have discussed in 3rd canto how when he handed over Devahuti to Karda Muni, he became very much happy And he was ruling his kingdom so very nicely. He was every day engaged in uh, hearing and chanting the names of Lord. And that's how, even though he was absorbed in family life, he was not attached to the family life. And then after ruling the kingdom in this way, he ultimately renounced all the kingdom. He became detached from all the material enjoyment, and then along with his wife, he entered the forest. Along with Shatarupa, he entered forest to practice severe penances. And there, Swayambhu Manu, he performed penances for 100 years standing on one leg on the bank of river Sunanda. And as he was doing this tapasya, he was chanting mantras. So what mantras Swayambhu Manu was chanting? So in now 7-8 verses, Shukdev Goswami describes the mantras, the prayers of Swayambhuva Manu. Yena chetayate vishwam vishwam chetayate nayam yo jagarti shayanesmin nayam tam veda vedasah. So he says the Lord, Supreme Lord, is the creator of this entire material creation. Yena chetayate vishwam, from whom this entire material creation is coming. Vishwam chetayate nayam. He was not created by this material world. He creates this material world, but he is not created by this material world. And therefore, when everyone is silent, when everyone is sleeping, he is the supreme witness of all our activities. The living entities, they do not know him, but he knows everyone. So Prabhupada writes in the purport that, jivas, they have 3 stages of dreaming. First is when people, they are awake, they are working. That is also a daydream. They are dreaming that they will become happy. But actually, this is a illusory condition of life. That is a dream situation. And another dream we experience when we go to sleep. And third dreaming which living entity experiences is after the annihilation. All the living entities, they enter the body of Mahavishnu or Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and stay there in a unconscious dreaming state. So Prabhupada writes, in all these stages, everybody is dreaming. Only in spiritual world, everybody is awake. So then he says very similar verse which appears in Ishopanishad. Atma vasyamidam vishwam yatkinchit jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjitha magridha kasya siddhanam. So this verse is very, very similar to the first verse of Ishopanishad. Isha vasyamidam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjitha magridha kasya siddhanam. Very similar verse. Atma vasyam idam vishwam. That Supreme Lord is present everywhere in this material creation. Yat kinchit jagatyam jagat. Whether animate or inanimate. In all the species of life, Supreme Lord is there. Andantarastha paranamanuchayantarastham. And therefore, tena tyaktena bhunjitha. One should accept only that which is allotted to him. So hearing this, somebody may ask, okay, I may accept it, but my wife and children, they will not accept this fact. They will not accept such a conduct from me. Why you are not working hard? Why you are so very satisfied? So Swayambhu Manu, understanding this mentality, he scolds and he says, whose wealth is this? This is not your wealth. Tena tyaktena bhunjita, just accept only that which is given to you, because ultimately nothing belongs to you. Ma gridha kassasvidhanam. One should not infringe on others' property. So therefore, if this one principle is followed, then world will be peaceful place to stay. Because people are so very greedy, they want to acquire more and more. And Prabhupada gives the famous example in Ishopanishad there, in Nectar of Instruction, that when there is a bag of grain lying in the public place, birds will come, they'll eat few grains and they'll go away. A man will come and he will take away the entire bag. So that is the difference between human mentality and the animal mentality. Animals, they never accumulate more than what is required. So therefore, Swayambhuman is teaching all the people because he is the one who sets the right example. So Prabhupada writes there, this is the perfect communism. When everybody keeps Krishna in the center, that is the perfect spiritual communism, where everybody will be happy. Because all property belongs to Lord, everything should be offered to him. And then he says, if somebody may ask, hearing this verse of Swayambhu Manu, okay, if Lord dwells everywhere in this universe, why we do not see him? Then he says, Yam pashyati na pashyantam chakshuryasya narishyati tam bhutanilayam devam suparnam upadhavata. Yam pashyati na pashyantam. Supreme Lord sees everything, but no one sees him. Chakshur yasya na rishyati. His power to see is never diminished by anything. He is supreme. So we were discussing how when Swayambhu Manu, he was praying to the Supreme Lord, he is offering beautiful, beautiful prayers. First of all, he says that how Supreme Lord is the supreme proprietor of everything, therefore everything should be offered to him only. And if people, they offer things in this way, then there will be a spiritual communism. And therefore, hearing this, somebody may say, but okay, if Lord dwells everywhere, then why we do not see that Supreme Lord? So therefore, Swayambhu Manu says that Yam pashyati na pashyantam. Although Supreme Lord sees everyone, nobody sees him. Chakshur yasya na rishyati. His power to see is never diminished. Tam bhuta nilayam devam suparnam upadhavata. That Supreme Lord is the source of all living beings, and therefore everybody should worship him only. As Kunti Maharani says that, Alaksham Sarva Bhutanam, Prabhupada writes in the purport, Alaksham, Supreme Lord is not seen by everyone because Maya Javanikachannam. There is a curtain of Mahamaya, which is there in front of all the conditioned living entities. That's why we cannot see the Lord with our limited intelligence. So how to see the Lord? By following the instructions of the Guru, one can see Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya. When we hear from the Supreme Lord, then we can actually destroy our ignorance and we can see the Lord. And therefore, then he says that, that Supreme Lord is beyond any material designations and beyond any dualities of life. He has no beginning, no end. He is staying in spiritual world. There are no dualities. There are no dualities in the spiritual world. And therefore, he is the Supreme Lord. He is the Supreme Master of everything. Everything is created by him. Everything is maintained by him. Everything is annihilated by him only. So he is the Supreme Master. He is the Supreme Controller. He is a Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam. And therefore, although, material and spiritual energies of the Lord both belong to him only, he is impossible to understand as long as we are in the material energy. As long as we are under the influence of Mahamaya, we cannot understand the Supreme Lord. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tattvataha tato mam tattvato gyatva vishate tadanantaram. Only a devotee of the Lord can know him. Sorry. And then he says that we have to seek shelter of Krishna, and then only we can come out of this material bondage. Athagre rishaya karman ihante akarma hetave ihamano hi purushah prayo niham prapadyate. He says, great saints, they first engage people in actions, in karma, and then they bring them slowly to the stage where they can renounce all their activities. Only by ihamano hi purushaha, only by regulated action which is based on scriptures, one can ultimately attain liberation. So basically, what Swayambhu Manu is saying, that we have to understand, we have to work at our level. We cannot artificially imitate the level of great people. And for devotee also, it is equally applicable. We have to understand what is our level of devotional service and work accordingly. We cannot imitate the great devotees of the Lord. So therefore, in this verse, he's saying that those people, those great saints, they know, okay, this person is at this level, so he should continue doing the activities of the material life. He should not artificially renounce the activity. As it is said in the 11th canto also, Tavat karmani kurvita na nirvidyet yavata mat katha shravanado va shraddha yavan jayate. As long as one has not developed the taste for hearing and chanting, he should continue performing the daily duties. He should not artificially renounce the daily activities of life, because if does this without developing a sufficient realization, he will not be able to maintain it for a long time. And then Prabhupada writes in the purport that everything is ultimately meant to be offered to the Supreme Lord only. Yagyarthat karmano anyatra. That is a process of Nishkam Karma Yoga. We may be doing so many activities, but we have to offer all the activities to Krishna. Yagyarthat karmano anyatra. Offer all your activities to the Supreme Lord, because He is the Bhoktaram Yagya Tapasam. He is the supreme enjoyer. Atapumbhir duja sreshta varnashram vibhagashah swanashritasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshanam. All the rules and regulations of varnashram, they are meant to please Krishna. Samsiddhir haritoshanam. So therefore, one should not give up activities prematurely. Someone might ask, hearing this, okay, but people, they are involved in actions, and when they get involved in actions, they become bound up. So why you are telling them that you engage in actions and then later become free? Because that is the nature of the activities of the material world. One becomes entangled in that. So here, just like the insect, weaves cocoon around itself and gets bound, entangled in that only. Similarly, a person may enter family life, material life, he may get bound. He says, no, devotees of the Lord, they are never entangled. Ihate Bhagavan Isho nahi tatra visajjate atmalabhena purnartho navasidanti te yunuyam. So he's saying that, Supreme Lord, He is Isha, He is a supreme controller. Nahi tatra visajjate. Just like Supreme Lord is never entangled in the activities of the material creation. He is creating, He is maintaining, He is destroying. He never gets entangled. Similarly, the devotees of the Lord also never get entangled. Similar verse comes in the first canto also. Etadishanam ishasya prakristho pitadgunaihi nayujyate sadatmasthir yatha buddhi tadashrayah. When Krishna entered the palace of the queens, all the queens, various queens, they were trying to attract Krishna by their loving glances and the smiling faces, but they were not able to attract Krishna. Krishna was attracted not by the bodily beauty of the queens, he was attracted by the devotion of the queens. Similarly, there Sudha Goswami speaks that devotees of the Lord also are not entangled by the material energy. So Prabhupada writes there, if the Lord is not bound, in the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, those who perform activities for me, they become liberated. So if devotees become liberated, then how Lord will be bound? So then hearing all this instruction, somebody may ask Swayambhu Mani, okay, are you are giving such big instructions, what are you doing? So then he says, Tamihamanam nirahankritam buddham nirashisham purnamananya choditam Insikshayantam nijavartma samsitam prabhum prapadde akhila dharma bhavanam. He says, I am surrendering myself unto the lotus feet of Supreme Lord. Tamihamanam nirahankritam buddham. That Supreme Lord, He performs all the actions. He is without any ego. He is full of knowledge. Nirashisham purnam ananya choditam. He does not desire any results. He is Purnam, he is self-satisfied in himself. Ananya Choditam, he is independent. Nobody has to tell him to do work. Nirsikshayantam, but still, why he is doing it? Nrin Sikshayantam, just to set an example for the others. As it is said, Mahajano yena gata sapantha. In Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says the same thing. Utsideyur ime loka na kuryam karma chedarham sankarasya chakartasyam upahanyam ima praja. I don't have anything to do in this world, but still I am doing, because if I will not do work, people will follow my example and they will get ruined. Prabhupada writes, and therefore he says, Swayambhu says, Prabhum prapadye akhila dharma bhavanam. He says, therefore I take shelter of that Supreme Lord who propagates the real path of religion. Prabhupada writes in the purport, this is the sum and substance of our Krishna consciousness movement. What we have to do, we have to surrender to the Supreme Lord. We have to work in such a way so that people may get a right example to follow. So therefore, Prabhupada writes, we are simply requesting the society to follow in the footsteps of the teachers of this great Krishna consciousness movement. Please follow the instructions of Bhagavad Gita. And that is a summary of spiritual advancement, Prabhupada writes there. And then he describes the activities of Lord Yajna. He says, one time when the Swayambhu Manu, when he was doing tapasya, some hungry demons and yakshas and the rakshasas, and the asuras, rakshasas and asuras, they attacked him to devour him. That time, Lord Yajna, he killed all these demons, and then he became the Indra. He became the Indra for that Manu, and he ruled heaven. So in short, these are the two activities of Lord Yajnapati which are described. He protected Swayambhu Manu and he became the Indra and he ruled the heaven. And then after this, Shukdev Goswami continues to describe the 4 Manvantara avatars in great detail. So in every Manvantara, there are 6 personalities which appear. And all these, they are considered the incarnation of Lord himself. Manvantaram Manur Deva Manuputra Sureshwara Rishayo Amshavatarascha Hare Shadvidamuchyate. So in every reign of Manu, the 6 types of personalities appear. Manu, that is the Swayambhu Manu or Rochisha Manu or Tamas Manu, the Manus, the ruling person. Then Deva, all the Devatas. They are also the incarnations, the partial expansions of the Lord only. Then Manuputraha, the sons of Manu. They are also the partial expansions of the Lord. Sureshwaraha, Indra. Indra is also a partial expansion. And then there are great sages, Saptarishis, or there are other sages who appear. So, and then Amshavatar, the Manvantara avatar himself. These are all the partial expansions of Lord himself. So then Shukdev Goswami describes the first 4 Manvantara avatars and the Manus. So he says that in first Manu, the first Manvantara, Manu was Swayambhuva Manu, his name was Swayambhuva, and the Yamas were the Devatas. They were created by Daksha, and the sons of Manu were Uttanpad and Priyavrat. We have discussed about Uttanpad and Priyavrat in great detail. And who was the Sureshwara? As we discussed just now, Yagya, he was the son of uh, Akuti. He became the Indra. And there are great sages headed by Marichi. And who was the Amshavatar? So Akuti and Devahuti, the two daughters of Swayambhuva Manu. From Akuti, Yagya appeared, and from Devahuti, Kapiladeva appeared. So these two are Amshavataras, Manvantara Avataras, and they both taught religion and knowledge. And in addition, Yagya killed the demons also. Second Manu was Swarochisha Manu. Swarochisha Manu, he was the son of Agni, and at that time the Devatas were Tushita and all the other people. Manuputras, who are the sons of this Manu? Dyumat, Sushena, and Rochishmat. Sureshwaraha, who was the Indra in that Manvantara, son of Yagya. His name was Rochana. He was the Sureshwaraha. And the Rishis were headed by Urja, Stambha, and others. And who was the Amshavatara in the second Manvantara? Vibhu Brahmachari, who was the son of Rishi Vedashira and Tushita. He was the Amshavatar. And what did he do? He taught self-control to 88,000 saints. Third Manvantara, the Manu was Uttama. He was the son of Priyavrat Maharaj. The first Manu, Swayambhuva Manu, his son was Priyavrat. One of the sons was Uttam. He became Manu in the third Manvantara. And who are the Devatas in the third Manvantara? Satyas, Vedashruta, and Bhadras. They were the Devatas. So Manuputras. Who were the Manuputras? So Uttama had sons Pavana, Srinjaya, and Yagyahotra. And Satyajit was the Indra at that time. The sages were Pramada and their sons, and Vasishta and sons of Vasishta. And then Satyasena, the son of Dharma and Sunrita, he was the Amshavatar at that time. And he killed the miscreants who troubled the Jivas. In the fourth Manvantara, the Manu was Tamasa. He was again the son of Priyavrat Maharaj. Another son of Priyavrat Maharaj, Tamasa. He became the Manu in the fourth Manvantara. And that time the Devatas were this fourth Manu, Tamasa. In his reign, the Amshavatar was Lord Hari, and he saved Gajendra from a crocodile. So when Parikshit Maharaj, he heard this, he became very anxious. He became very inquisitive to know about this Gajendra and Hari, Lord Hari. So he requested, he requested Shukdev Goswami that, "Oh Shukdev Goswami, I've heard about this Gajendra, pastime many times. Badarayana etatte shrotum mahe vayam harer yatha gajapatim graha grastam amumuchat." He says, "Oh Shukdev Goswami, I wish to hear Badarayan, oh Shukdeva, shrotum mahe. I want to hear about the pastimes of Gajendra and the avatar who protected Gajendra. Grahagrastam, this Gajendra, he was attacked by crocodile, and ultimately he was delivered by Hari. So please describe me that wonderful story. Because tat katha su mahat punyam dhanyam swastyanam shubham yatra yatrottama shloko bhagavan giyate Hari. Tat katha su mahat punyam. the pastimes, those narrations of the Lord, they are very, very pious. Mahat punyam, dhanyam, swasti ainam, and shubham. These are the three wonderful qualities of Harikatha. Dhanyam, they are glorious. Swasti ainam, they are all auspicious. And they are shubham, they are all good. Dhanyam swastenam shubham. Yatra uttama shloka bhagavan giyate hari. So in all these narrations, why do I want to hear these narrations? Because in these narrations, Krishna is glorified. Uttama shlok is glorified. Nayatra Vaikuntha Katha Sudhapaga Nasadhavo Bhagavata Sadashraya Nayatra Yagyesha Makama Hotsava Suresha Loko Pinavaisha Sevyatam. So it is described that a devotee of the Lord is only interested in hearing Harikatha. Nayatra Vaikuntha Katha Sudhapaga. Wherever there is no Krishna Katha going on, na sadhavo bhagavata sadashraya. Wherever there are no devotees of the Lord who are coming together and discussing Krishna, na yatra yagyesh makhama hotsava, and wherever there are no festivals for the glorification of the Lord happening, suresha loko pinavaisha sevyatam, even if it is heaven, I do not want to go to that place. So that is the consciousness of a devotee. Wherever Krishna Katha is there, I'll go there. Because devotees, they are like the honeybees. They are eager for the nectar of Harikatha. Pibanti ye bhagavatatmanak katham kathamitam shavaran puteshu samhritam punanti te vishaya vidushita shayam vrajanti tacharana saroruhantikam. Because when we hear Harikatha, when we drink this nectar of Harikatha through our ears, Katha Amrita, this nectar of Harikatha, when we drink, Shravana Puteshu, through the holes of our ears, what is the result? Punanti te vishaya vidushita shayam, one becomes completely purified of all the contaminated, polluted aim of life. Brajanti tacharana saroruhantikam, and one gets a chance to enter the spiritual world. Yatra yatra uttama shloko bhagavan giyate hari. So Harikatha is dhanyam, swasti and mahat. In the first canto also, the sages, they describe the similar way. Idam bhagavatam nama puranam brahma sammitam uttama shloka charitam chakar bhagavan rishi nishreyasaya lokasya dhanyam swastyainam mahat. So there, Sud Goswami describes that this bhagavatam is brahma sammitam. This is the essence of all the scriptures. This is the essence of Vedanta. Uttama Shloka Charitam. And what is this Bhagavatam? It describes the pastimes. This describes the qualities of Lord Uttama Shloka. Bhagavan, Chakara Bhagavan Rishi. And this is written by Bhagavan Rishi himself. This is written by Vyasadev. And what is the quality of this Harikatha? Dhanyam, Swastyainam, and Mahat. This is fully successful. Nobody can say, "Arey, हमारे ऊपर testing चल रहा है लग रहा है." I don't know whether this process will be successful or not. Who has seen? No, it is successful process. It is tried and tested. We are not getting tested. One devotee of Prabhupada and one disciple, throughout the life he served, and then Prabhupada, and then at the last days he underwent some terminal illness. He was suffering, and then he was lying down on his deathbed, unconscious almost. Suddenly he got up from his bed and opened his eyes and said, "Prabhupada has not cheated us." Again lied down and left his body. So the process which we are following is a successful process. Prabhupada is not there to cheat anyone. That's what Prabhupada would say many times. All you have to understand is, I have not come to cheat you. Dhanyam swastyainam mahat. This is all auspicious, all successful, and all perfect path. So therefore, Shukdev Goswami, when he heard this, he was very much encouraged. Because whenever the audience is very attentive and eager to hear Harikatha, then the speaker also becomes very, very encouraged to speak Harikatha. That's why, sages of Naimisharanya, they glorify Suta Goswami. that, O Suta Goswami, Tanno Bhavan Vai Bhagavat Pradhano Mahattamaikanta Parayanasya Harerudaram Charitam Vishuddham. He says that, Tanno Bhavan Vai Bhagavat Pradhano, you are the great sage, great devotee of the Lord. Mahattamaikanta Parayan, you are completely surrendered to the Supreme Lord. And what we are discussing? Harer Udaram Charitam Vishuddham. We are discussing the pastimes of Krishna, who is most magnanimous. Harer Udara, Udara Charita. Krishna is magnanimous and the pastimes of the Lord are magnanimous. Shushrushatam no vitanotu vidwan. And then they say, and we are eager. We are eager to hear. You are such a great devotee. We are discussing Harikatha, which is the best of the topics. And we are eager to hear Harikatha. So therefore, O Sukadeva Goswami, you please keep on speaking. So therefore, when Shukadeva Goswami, he heard all this inquiries from Parikshit Maharaj, he became very encouraged to speak about Krishna, to speak about the assembly, to speak to the assembly of sages, this pastime of Gajendra Moksha. And therefore, he started speaking. So that is the end of the first chapter. So today will not be able to take the second chapter. It is 7:15 and I have to go somewhere because some calls are coming again and again. So we'll stop here. So we'll continue tomorrow again. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If anybody has any questions, we can take for a few minutes. If there are no questions, we'll stop. Okay, so thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. So for this whole month of Kartik, we'll be having class from 6:30 to 7:30 or 40, whatever. So because there are some services which have come up in the Kartik month, and so we'll continue
Kartik
tomorrow.
month ends
Sorry?
when it is November, December.
Full Kartik month.
Achha, full Kartik month.
Yeah,
Okay,
full Kartik month we'll be having class from 6:30 to 7:30 on or 7:40, whatever. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.